Hey, what's up? It's me, Jessica J, and I was just wondering if you've ever sat and thought to yourself, Jessica, why does ignoring women make them care right away? Well, if so, I'm glad you asked, because despite me doing this video and several different versions of this video several different times, today I'm gonna go over the exact science and psychology behind what happens in the human brain when we are ignored by somebody, specifically you ignoring her. And to make sure you never miss out on another opportunity to hear the inner workings of the human mind that'll help to your advantage with the women you want, or another one of my videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with that notification bell. Okay, so like I said, sure, I've done this video a couple times, but I've never explained the actual mechanisms of the mind taking place that scientifically prove that we do, in a way, need you to ignore us to an extent in order to get us to care about you. Now, I'm not talking about you just ignoring a woman you want to approach because you're too scared. I'm talking about you're in the friend zone, or you were talking and you kind of feel her pulling away. This is about women with whom you're already interacting and women you're actually pretty sweet on, but you're not necessarily feeling reciprocated romantically. And true to form, make sure you stay till the very end, because I'm gonna tell you why it's not enough just to know these reasons why and what you have to do immediately after to get her hooked and chasing you back. Okay, so the first reason is because of an instant pattern interrupt. So I will tell you right now what happens in the brain when we are presented with something out of the norm. We immediately stand at attention. So if you were looking at a black and white mural and then all of a sudden you look to your left and you see something bright orange, you'd be like, oh my god, bright orange, what is that? Let me go see. Or if you're driving in your car and you're like, ho hum, driving in the car, ho hum, diddly da, and then out of nowhere your favorite song comes on, you're like, oh my god, my favorite song, let me sing it. This is what happens when you take yourself out of the equation with a woman who is used to seeing you a certain way. Maybe you're always there for her. Maybe you're not necessarily exciting to her anymore, or your interactions are inducing any type of emotion. Whatever the reason, breaking that pattern will cause any woman to stand at attention and really care about what the fuck just happened here in my life. Which is why something like the 30-day no contact rule, where you don't talk to a girl cold turkey for 30 days, actually works, because you're forcing her brain to really look at something different in her world, which is you no longer there, thirsting like a hungry hippo. The second reason why ignoring us works so well is because what you're doing is you're forcing an open loop in our brains. So I talked about your favorite song earlier. Let's say you heard a really super catchy fucking song, it's brand new, but you don't know how the song ends. But for the rest of the day, you are now replaying that song, that tune in your head, and it's just stuck in your motherfucking head. The reason that happens is because our brains have now been forced to repeat and repeat and repeat this one thing that we don't know the ending to. So if you're talking to a girl and she knows you're kind of sweet on her, and she's the one who doesn't disappear but rather you ignore her, now she's like, wait a minute, this didn't end through my control. How is this gonna end? This now forces her to come at you to find out how the story ends. Because you've done that pattern interrupt, because you now reopened that loop that she thought she was closing, or that she thought she had closed. Which then brings me to the third reason, which is called cognitive closure. So from an early age, the human mind is incredibly averse to ambiguity and uncertainty. I always talk about this concept of the lizard brain being at alert, being wired for our survival. So that's why we have so much more distress in situations that we're not familiar with people we don't really know, or if you stepped out of your house one day and like your whole neighborhood was bombed. Either way, humans desire an explanation for things that they don't have the answers to. So if she knows that you're the one who's more into her, if she knows that she can rely on you to text her this type of way or be there whenever she wants, if out of nowhere you just ignore her, her brain now forces her to go find the answers why. Because none of us can deal with uncertainty. And if we were super certain about you being more into us than we were into you, and out of nowhere you're just not, let me go find out why. And the third one is called intermittent reinforcement, which I talked about before with you, but I'm gonna highlight it again and why it's so important in getting women to chase you. So last night on my episode of The Naked Truth, my show on Patreon, where me and a bunch of girls just jump on and give you the female perspective on what it's like to be on the receiving end, metaphorically and physically, of you men. And last night's topic was men in our past who have gotten us so obsessed that we did out of character things and chased them and made fools of ourselves. Mind you, these are all stories from when we were in our 20s, but the common theme was men who are hot and cold. Basically, men who, when we were together, things were super hot, there's chemistry, there's passion, and then they would just disappear. Or there'd be times where we see them and they're not really that into us anymore. This goes back to a study done with lab rats where every time the rats pushed a lever, every single time in the beginning, they would get like a piece of corn. So push the lever, get a piece of corn. Push the lever, get a piece of corn. Then for every like third press of the lever, they wouldn't give a corn. Then for every second press of the lever, they wouldn't get a corn. Then eventually they just stopped giving the corn for every like 12th press of the lever. But what would those rats do? They wouldn't stop pressing the lever. In fact, it made them press the lever so much more fucking faster and furiously, Vin Diesel style. And it made the rats super addicted to pressing that lever no matter fucking what. Because what the brain says is, hey, sometimes we get what we want out of this. So let's just keep at it, because not keeping at it means not getting the reward. But keeping at it as much as fucking possible, maybe even double time, triple time, let me quit my job, I'll get the reward. Right? Even if it's just like for one time every 12 presses or 12,000 presses of the lever. So this explains why women will start chasing you when you randomly ignore her. When you start to ignore her a little more. But you don't have to be a dick to pull this off. You can just have your own life, have a good life, and not have time to be stuck up her asshole all the time. Imagine. And that's the stuff that gets women emotionally craving you, not just cognitively. In fact, in the beginning, I talked about why all this stuff, why ignoring isn't enough, because this plays only to our cognitive senses, where in order to get a woman hooked and then chasing you, you need to entice her emotionally. That's why intermittent reinforcement can be so attractive, because it works on our brain and also our emotions. And if you know you're not interacting with women in ways that gets us emotionally hooked and craving you, then let's take a look at how you're interacting with women. Because I'm telling you, you can learn how to interact better with women without changing who you are, just like you can learn how to play the piano without changing who you are. I just graduated out a bunch of clients, and now we have the doors open for a new select few. So if you know you're ready to get your summer hot and heavy already, you know that the first half of 2023 wasn't so good in the women department for you, then make sure you apply right now while you still can to have me and my team get eyes on you, where you could practice interacting with women and better those interactions week after week, so that you've got exactly what it takes to get and keep the women you want out there and never need my videos ever again. So apply right here while you still can, or the link in the description, or the link in the pinned comment, or go to jessicajdating.com/apply. And remember, it's not enough just to ignore her. That's why you guys in your gut know it feels really fucked up, because like just ignoring somebody is pretty messed up. You also have to be able to interact eventually. The question is, are you able to interact in ways that gets you not needing to come up with these ways to re-engage her or re-interest her? Because I'm telling you, if all you do is ignore her and get her standing at attention, it's all gonna be for nothing if you can't get her now attracted to you. So find out what it takes to interact with women in a way that attracts us and hooks us and gets us chasing you and obsessing over you by clicking this link right here, or the link in the description, or the link in the pinned comment, or jessicajdating.com/apply. And thanks for watching as always, guys. I'll see you next time.